We're ready to go. Let's do this. Van, take it away.
Okay. So hello, I am here with the Synthia.io team, and we're having a little conversation about the platform and where it's going. Along with, my name is Van Schlichting. I'm the Director of Strategy at Overdose Digital. We do projects around all things digital, and today we're talking about an awesome SaaS platform that we've been working on. With me today is the team from Synthia.io. I have David Williams, the co-founder and CTO. I have Bruce Friedman, the co-founder and CEO, and I have Sue McCabe, the CMO. And we're going to talk a little bit today about cognitive search and how Synthia is actually reinventing the space. So David, tell me a little bit about cognitive search and how that works.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Ben. Okay, so this is our presentation introducing Synthia, and Synthia is a generalized AI platform for business applications. Our platform is very general. We're not industry specific nor use case specific, but we're applying our technology to the space of cognitive search, especially for e-commerce. So what is cognitive search, right? Cognitive search basically augments employees' intelligence to help them make smarter decisions and complete tasks faster. It helps customers support themselves and find information about products and services. And that's according to the Forrester Wave report of the state of the industry in 2019. And that's what we go by. We're really about augmenting employee intelligence and supporting customers. So this is intelligence augmentation, not necessarily pure automation. Okay. Great.
So would you say that cognitive search is a tool that connects people with the things that they're looking for in a very real way?
I would say that that's exactly right. So basically, if you have some employees who are looking through some help material or support material or trying to find the right answer in some kind of internal knowledge base, it can help them do that, or find a product in the inventory room or something like that, for sure. And also, if you're a customer coming to an e-commerce website and coming through the front end, it can help you find a product, discover products, get recommendations, cross-sell, upsell, increase conversions, and all those good things.
That's awesome. That's something in the commerce world we're always looking for.
All right, fantastic. Cool, thanks, Van. And there's Synthia resides on pillars. And so there are 10 pillars, and let's look at those really quick. First of all, Synthia always provides intuitive and relevant results. We've completely eliminated the no results page. So our ideal is using Synthia, you will always get results, and those results will always be as intuitive and relevant as possible. Synthia understands ordinary everyday language. So people should be able to search just with ordinary language and get results and never see no results. Synthia supports effortless cloud integration. One of our big values is one click, install, and go. So right out of the box, you don't need any engineers to integrate with Synthia. We provide everything through a kind of system of on-ramps through major platforms like Shopify, Magento, WooCommerce, Squarespace, Salesforce Commerce Cloud, and all those like major distribution channels. And basically, you should have a one-click effortless install, which is non-technical. And because of this, we believe that Synthia delivers the fastest speed to market impact. If you want to become AI enabled overnight, Synthia is the way to do it. So one click and go. And also something that's important in AI in general is to be basically safe, right? AI safety is a big topic. We've seen Tesla's crash recently, and some things say wildly inappropriate things, but Synthia is meant to be safe for everyone. So that's what we say. Synthia is safe for everyone. And in fact, Synthia is safe, trustworthy, and private by design. So Synthia is equitable, non-biased, inclusive, diverse, understands all forms of language, understands many different cultural contexts. Synthia is also trustworthy. All the scores that come out of Synthia are calibrated. And so you can rely on our confidence scores as likelihoods. And also Synthia is private. So we don't purchase third-party tracking cookies. We don't store personally identifiable information. All of our machine learning is done on differentially private variables. So people can trust Synthia that Synthia is private and respects their privacy.
So David, one of the things that when I first started talking to you all that I thought was really interesting was it seems like Synthia addresses two spaces in the market that everybody's always trying to improve. One is that speed to market and actually getting a technology tool up and running. And the other one is lowering the friction to finding things. And those are two things that I think a lot of players in the market have really tried very hard to improve. And I feel like Cynthia is extremely well positioned to do that right out of the gate, better than a lot of them.
Absolutely, 100%, Van. And going further, the ease of setting up Cynthia is really important. So for example, the pain when you ask somebody to set up a search engine for the first time for their e-commerce platform. They might need to label or annotate 50,000 sentences or the front of the tail of their searches. But with Cynthia, basically Cynthia supports the entire search tail right out of the box. So we're using large language models and deep learning models to basically support a state-of-the-art search engine right out of the box with zero labeling or annotation. And of course, people can always come in and customize searches and add custom phrases or custom sentences and map them to products. But by default, we don't ask our customers to label any data. So we're automating all that pain away.
That's awesome.
Great. And thank you so much. And that's pillar number 6, right? Cognitive search with zero annotation. We don't ask people to label data. We do everything with self-supervised learning. Next, we do prediction with partial information, and this is easy to explain. All Cynthia inputs are optional. So if you have a machine learning model deployed with Cynthia that has 5 different inputs, you can even submit a request with all inputs empty or fill out all 5 of them. You can also add categorical inputs or concepts or words that Cynthia may not be in the training data, but Cynthia will still understand it because Cynthia understands missing or partial information. Also, Cynthia is able to extrapolate. So one thing we know in machine learning is that sufficiently high dimensional prediction problems are equivalent to extrapolation, and Cynthia can extrapolate. So if there are combinations of input variables that were not seen during training time, Cynthia will seamlessly and smoothly extrapolate between them to give the most likely response or the best response possible. And then infrastructurally, Cynthia is a universal platform for plug and play verticals. As I mentioned, Cynthia is generalized, and so we don't assume that we're deploying in any one specific industry or for any one specific use case. We can support any AI algorithm under the sun with a simple, basically plug and play system. So you can think of Cynthia as like a universal power adapter, like when you travel overseas and you get yourself a power plug that works in every country. That's like Cynthia, but for AI models, just plug and play and go internally. And also, Cynthia is an environmental achievement. So we're achieving infinite scale with zero carbon. Cynthia has zero carbon footprint and will never have a carbon footprint. And the way that we achieve that is specifically we deploy currently in Microsoft Azure US West 2, which we know is powered by solar, wind, and nuclear. So Cynthia can scale arbitrary orders of magnitude and is safe for the planet Earth.
There's 2 items on that list that I think are pretty amazing, and I know we're gonna talk about a couple demos and see Cynthia in action in just a minute here. But prediction with partial information and extrapolation to unseen scenarios. It seems to me that there's a big chunk of this that is really about taking what a regular human like you or I would know about a given space or a given search. And that's what we do as humans. We extrapolate what somebody's asking for. That salesperson in the store, what are they're starting to size you up as soon as you walk in the door. And when you ask for something, they're giving context to everything and gives you a different response than a search tool would. And it seems like Cynthia is really well positioned to be able to do that in a very real and natural way that a lot of search platforms can't.
Absolutely, Van. You're 100% right about that. And I think that's a very common sense and intuitive way to see it. Cynthia connects the dots just like a human would if a human was helping you find something in a store. Cynthia listens to what you have to say and tries to make a best educated guess, even with some missing or partial information, kind of making a best guess about what you're truly looking for and then trying to surprise and delight you with the best thing possible. You're absolutely 100%. Thank you.
Well, let's see some of it in action for sure.
Absolutely. And just one quick final note here. This is our logo. So the Cynthia logo is these 2 bars, these 2 kind of vertical bars. These are curves. And, we're Cynthia.io. And IO is, of course, geek speak for input, output. And the bar on the left represents input and the bar on the right represents output. So Cynthia is a never-ending system of call and response. And just one on a personal note, this is actually modeled on 2 koi fish swimming around each other. So if you've ever seen one of those Zen paintings of koi fish in a pond where they're kind of chasing each other and swimming around each other in a circle, these are kind of 2 koi fish swimming around in a kind of a digital sea of information. Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you, Van. Thank you for introducing our platform and introducing our product and kind of shedding some insights on the value that Cynthia can deliver to the customers of Overdose and e-commerce customers in general. And let's jump right in. And first of all, we'll show you our website and then we'll show you the demo. So this is our website, cynthia.io. This is a landing page currently. We're in the process of developing a new website. Our color is purple, so this is our purple kind of aesthetic and theme. This is a visualization of Cynthia thinking. So as I mentioned, Cynthia is kind of a giant dot connecting machine. This is a visualization of a high dimensional manifold neural network kind of thinking about what you're saying. So this is Cynthia's thought process, right up front. That's our banner. And you can subscribe to Digital Intelligence. So our business model is subscription based. We deploy machine learning models into Azure. We issue API keys, and then we allow our customers to use those API keys to make requests to Cynthia, and then we charge them on a subscription basis. You can send us a note if you'd like to work with us. And we describe some use cases here, but I'm going to quickly gloss over those to get right into the demo as soon as possible. I just wanted to basically reiterate that our company is a values-based company. We are firmly seated and kind of grounded on a bedrock of two very important values. One of them is being socially responsible. So as we say here, Cynthia is safe for everyone. Cynthia is a safe AI that's non-biased, that's equitable, that's diverse and inclusive. Cynthia understands all forms of language, many different dialects, and we also support 108 languages through machine translation. So our goal is to spread Cynthia all around planet Earth and include everyone. And also Cynthia is a green system. So we have studied green AI that prioritizes the energy efficiency of machine learning algorithms. And we believe in a future of artificial intelligence that's carbon negative. And the idea here is by making everything easier, people will have to exert less effort to get things done. And because of that, Cynthia could help using intelligence to lower the human effort level to achieve the same amount. So in that way, we could actually play a carbon negative role in the planet. And I'll show you one more fun thing about us being carbon negative towards the end of the demo. Okay, so now we're going to jump right into the demo. And Van, please jump in, ask questions. Sue, Bruce, anything you have to say, but I think you guys know where we're going. First, we're going to go to Algolia, our main competitor, or you could also say comparable, because while we are in the same space as Algolia, which is search and discovery for e-commerce and merchandising and helping to optimize e-commerce experiences, we do it in a little bit different way. So our approach is not exactly competing with Algolia's approach. We're not trying to do the same thing cheaper or faster than them. We're doing something a little bit better than them. And let's see what's better about our approach. So first of all, one of Algolia's case studies is right here, which says they achieve 150% sales contribution for Lacoste. So Lacoste, right, the French sporting brand with a little crocodile on it. That's one of Algolia's main customers. And let's go look at the Lacoste implementation, the Algolia implementation in Lacoste. So here's Lacoste's website, right? Here's the alligator. Here's all their latest and greatest fashion. You can get some outerwear, all the polos. And I want to look at men's jackets, right? So I live in the Bay Area. It's really cold up here. If you go to San Francisco, it's extra cold. And I might need a jacket. So if I'm going to go to San Francisco for dinner tonight, actually I am. I'm going to go to sushi in the city and I might need a jacket. So I want to search for a warm men's jacket because I need something to keep warm. So here's some jackets. We see a varsity jacket. We see a water repellent vest. We see all sorts of jackets here, a twill jacket. But if I search for a warm men's jacket, Algolia will tell us that there are no results for a warm men's jacket. Well, that's interesting. And one of the things about this search that I want to highlight is that this is a non-controversial search. So warm men's jacket, that's not a trick question. There's no jargon in there. It's not meant to fool Algolia. It's also 3 words. And one thing we know, statistically speaking, is that search on the web, the most common number of words used in a search is 3. So this represents one of the most common searches you could possibly find in an e-commerce setting. And Algolia tells us there's no warm men's jacket. So I guess Algolia is leaving us out in the cold.
And fundamentally, from a lot of my experience in e-commerce, the reason why we're not seeing a result is because warm men's jacket doesn't appear in an appropriate place that it's being indexed for that search. So while they have plenty of warm men's jackets, because they're not describing them that way as the consumer does, they're not getting them on the page.
That's exactly right. There are some jackets which are described as men's jackets. There are some jackets where somewhere in the material it says they're warm, but there's no piece of text which has been indexed, which says those 3 keywords at the same time, which is basically a gap. That forms a kind of a Swiss cheese hole in the keyword configuration where you fall through. I like to make the joke that, you know, if a customer walks in and falls through one of these holes, they fall through that hole and they go to Amazon, right? Because at least is better and they can find what they're looking for. We can't even find a warm men's jacket here. So now let's look at how Cynthia solves this problem. So here's our model catalog. This is our kind of demo functional container. There's no logins. It's purely functional, purely for demo purposes. This is a library of artificial intelligence, and and this is the card catalog, and every card in this card catalog is a different AI model. So this one helps you find kind of self-service support at AT&T. This one helps you find a job at Apple. This one helps you find a gallery in Art Basel. If you, by describing the art you want to see, this one helps you find beer. We'll look at that in a second. Crystals, bikinis, cannabis strains, and so many more. And here's Lacoste. So let's go to this Lacoste model. This is our model. Yeah, please, Bruce, go ahead.
Hi, David, before you jump in the model, maybe just in terms of today's leading AI search, like for instance, Algolia, can you distinguish sort of vector / keyword search? And before you show the Lacoste model for Cynthia, you know, how we have different technology. And, you know, the current state of the market is really keyword and vector based, and we're taking search at a different level. It is not apples to apples.
That's right. Our implementation is a bit more sophisticated. We're using large language models to rank the entire product catalog at once. So we don't depend on keywords, and we don't depend on pre-processing any of the product descriptions into vectors and doing any kind of nearest neighbor search or anything like that. Every time you search, your search is processed by a deep neural network, a large language model, and then it is assigned to products through like basically post-processing models. Let's take a look at that. So I'm going to search for warm men's jacket. I'm going to put the search here. Here's enter your search. So I put warm men's jacket, and I'm going to click process, and the result came back. Cynthia on average has a response time of about 50 milliseconds. And let's look at these results. So first of all, there are results. That's great. And look, they all look like jackets if we just kind of like look up and down. And how good are these results? So let's just look at the first 3. The first one is the men's Sherpa collar padded bomber jacket, which is made in a durable padded twill with a quilted inner lining. This bomber is warm and comfortable, complete with an insulating Sherpa fleece. So, you know, whereas Algolia said that there were no results, they could not give us a warm men's jacket, Cynthia got us the warmest jacket in the entire catalog. It's a Sherpa fleece jacket with a durable twill and a quilted inner lining, and it's a bomber, right? So this is a men's Sherpa collar padded bomber jacket. It's got a big warm collar, and it's padded with durable twill, right? Okay, and a quilted inner lining. So that's the warmest jacket in the store, followed by maybe one of the second warmest, which is the men's checked responsible wool Chesterfield jacket. It's warm, it has recycled wool, it's a full-length jacket. This is the kind of jacket you would wear, you know, if you're walking around the streets of London on a cold, foggy night. And finally, we have number 3 here, which is the men's Lacoste X National Geographic reversible quilted zip jacket, which allows you to face the urban jungle this season in a reversible quilted jacket, fresh from the National Geographic collection, and it's crafted in warm quilted taffeta. So Cynthia understands that there's, as you go up, as the search results at the top have the largest number of words which are associated with warmth, and it's a search ranking. So as we go down in the ranking, we can see that the jackets get a little bit thinner. And finally here, we'll see a lightweight water-resistant puffer coat. It's still warm, it's still dry, but it's more lightweight and it's more water-resistant. Up here, we see one that's made for, you know, you to hike up Mount Everest or something. And Bruce, I want to jump back to one thing you asked, which is what makes us a bit different as well, is that none of these sentences were labeled in advance, which we described in our pillars. So we did not farm out any of these sentences for annotation. We did not explicitly teach Cynthia about warm men's jackets. This is all an emergent phenomenon of deep neural networks. And when we search, the entire product catalog is ranked all at once, everything, including the shoes, including the dresses and everything. And then we just present here the top 10, but you could present the top 3, the top 5, and that's configurable. Okay.
So David, this is essentially out of the box from Cynthia.
You're 100% right about that, Bruce. So this is right out of the box. This is what you would get. This is the performance you would get, unoptimized vanilla Cynthia right after your one-click install. This is what you would get right here. And this works for so many different kinds of phrases. Like if we look for stretchy cotton dresses, like here's all the stretchy cotton dresses, right? Look at these. Great, amazing. Okay.
I love
One-
about it
one-
from a consumer perspective, it saves time, David.
It
So
saves a lot.
it's in
Yep.
logical order also.
You
Kind of
never,
get shop going when you get to the bottom of a list.
right. You never have to go back and revise your query. We'll never tell you that there are no results. We'll always get you as close as what you want to what you said. And of course you can revise your search if you'd like, but we'll get you the results we think you want right up front.
And
And-
what type of, David, just, when Cynthia comes out of the box, it does not require a lot of engineering and technical prowess on the side of our clients and customers.
Well, actually zero, Bruce. So for example, you don't even need a web developer to install this. If you go to Shopify and you install Cynthia, that's a one-click install. So a product owner or a CEO could install it. Gosh, I mean, anybody, right? Like, we also support developers. Of course, developers are first-class citizens in our system, and they can integrate with us any way they like. We're very universal, but by default, we don't require anyone technical for our system. It's one click and go. So I like to say, put in your credit card, push the button, and you get, Cynthia's like a vending machine. You get state-of-the-art AI right out of the box that performs as best as possible, and then you can customize and optimize Cynthia to taste after that.
So that
You
means
know-
it's really, great for any size business.
That's right.
Small or big.
That's right. I think that our biggest impact initially will be in small and medium-sized businesses, which is who I had in mind when I invented this technology. Because if you look at a really state-of-the-art company like, I don't know, Staples or Home Depot or Office Max, who have huge web development teams who are always optimizing their search for their catalogs, they've got a lot of existing process for that. But I think if you look at someone, like a florist or someone selling t-shirts or someone selling snowboards, they just want an improved e-commerce experience, and they don't even have a tech team. Perhaps maybe they have an intern who uploads new product descriptions or new product pictures, but other than that, they're inherently non-technical. So I think our first 10,000 customers will be SMBs.
It's interesting because in my last role at a retailer, I had a team of 8 people, and 2 of those team members were primarily focused on merchandising, and one of them was almost entirely focused on search rules. And really across my team, I would say that person probably spent 20 hours plus, maybe 30 hours a week optimizing search keyword searches. So when you say warm winter jacket, they would be there creating a synonym rule that maps back to the keywords that are in the catalog so
Right.
that you can return a relevant result for warm winter jackets. And this is a constant point of optimization that Cynthia solves for. And really it drastically reduces the manpower cost of creating relevant results, because you don't have to introduce a human to create rules to do that.
You're absolutely right. The amount of person power, the number of hours that's going to be required is drastically reduced. I like to give an analogy of like a marathon. If optimizing your e-commerce experience is a marathon, we give you let's say a 20-mile head start.
Mhm.
You know
Absolutely.
what? To a couple other demos before we wrap up here. Thank you, Bruce, Sue, and Van, for all this great dialogue and discussion. I think this is exactly what we want to show Microsoft, who's watching this video right now, to really grok this demo, is to see us talking about it like we talk about Cynthia every day, with the same kind of enthusiasm and passion and observations about how we're changing the world. Okay.
The next 2 examples I just want to call out are really awesome, because in this first example, you're using an apparel search and warm men's jacket. Well, men's jacket are things that are typically resident in the catalog, but really in these next 2 examples is where it kind of goes off into left field, and you're returning results that at their core don't necessarily have that much commonality with what is in the catalog.
Van, you're exactly right. And this is by design. So Lacoste was level 1. That was just level 1. Now we're going to take you to level 2 and level 3 and hopefully really blow your mind. And there's going to be some fireworks here. So get ready and buckle your seatbelts. Like, this rocket ship is taking off. Okay, so we're going to go to Brewdog. So Brewdog is a celebrity Scottish brewing company. They're very fun. They're very quirky. They're very punky. This is Brewdog's Saucy Brew Works. So here's their orange beer. And they have a strongest beer ever in a big ice cube. They have something called the wit space so that you can ride the wit wave with them or something. They have a whole bunch of favorites, the Elvis AF, the Hazy AF, the Punk AF, the Nanny State. You know, they have, I guess they have burgers at their restaurant, at their bar. You can pucker up with the Overworked Sour. And they also have some really other fun things, like BrewDog has a hotel where they actually have beer in the shower. And here they have a roadmap and a people blueprint. Actually, like they're a carbon negative company too, which is really inspiring. And here, good people drink good beer. So, you know, they say paired with a fresh pint, craft beer nirvana is waiting for you. And here they are here. So this is, I think, one of the BrewDog staff members. They're very fun, very punky. They're in Scotland brewing beer in some big industrial complex and making this exciting, edgy beer for the masses. Okay, but their search is totally weird. So if you search for oatmeal, like an oatmeal beer, you would think that you would have a beer which has some kind of stout or some kind of chocolate or some kind of flavors that are kind of relevant to oatmeal. Like, you know, if you go to a supermarket, you might see an oatmeal stout, but their search says, sorry, again, no results for oatmeal. Well, let's go to Cynthia. So we're going to go back to Cynthia and we're going to look at the BrewDog model. So here's our model catalog again, and we're going to go down to the Brew Buddy model. So here's our Brew Buddy. And we're going to go to this model, and this is called the Prescient Punk 1.0. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put oatmeal in here and I'm going to process. And now here we go. Okay, so I want to show you, again, the kind of different levels of Cynthia comprehension. The first result here, the Jet Black Heart Nitro. This has been brought back by popular demand to BrewDog USA. This is decadent to the core and loaded with heaps of oatmeal for a red carpet of silky opulence, overflowing with notes of bitter cocoa, coffee, and dark berry fruits, plunging you into a deep, dark abyss to blacken your soul. Okay, so this was easy. I guess there was a keyword in there, but let's keep looking and see what the next results are. And these are real products in their catalog, right? This is the verbatim text from their catalog. Next is the BrewDog versus Evil Twin Roaster Coaster, which is a Columbus and Copenhagen milk stout, a transatlantic road trip, which is darker than evil and smoother than a late show host, with chocolate, bitter espresso, and vanilla riding up front, tailgated by roasted nutty notes with oats and wheat rounding things out for a nitro delivery and a supersonic smooth ride. So it doesn't say oatmeal, it says oats. So Cynthia kind of understands that oats are a component of oatmeal. So it's relevant, it's not a keyword. And also we see a lot of other flavors here that you would commonly associate with oatmeal. For example, chocolate, bitter espresso, vanilla, roasted nuts, and yeah, and a milk
You
stout.
can mix all of that into your oatmeal.
You could,
Yeah.
you could actually pour this beer into your oatmeal. I'm sure that would be an awesome breakfast of Scottish champions right there, right?
That's right.
No doubt. Okay, and then finally, number 3 here, let's look at this, the layer cake. And this one has no keywords in common at all, but is actually kind of the next closest match. So layer cake is rich in a decadent stout that has to be tried to be believed, layering marshmallows, chocolate brownies, vanilla, and cocoa nibs, which is a dessert in a can. So now we see ingredients that would be commonly associated with oats or oatmeal that are sort of adjacent. So now it's talking about cake and other decadent sort of tasty dessert-like things like you might find compatible with oatmeal. So I think this would be great, like if you're looking for an oatmeal compatible flavor.
And in
All
that
right.
example too, Cynthia's picking up the fact that cake, you bake with oatmeal. It's
Yes.
interesting, oatmeal oats all the time.
You can bake with oat flour, you can bake with oatmeal. Yeah, absolutely. Now let's look at a couple of other kind of examples of escalating complexity. So if we search for a light and sweet beer, we'll see some beers here. So for example, the 50/50 can, lemon zest and sweet sherbet on a crisp Pilsner malt base with light floral notes and a sharp, refreshing citrus tart finish. Not only is this a light and sweet beer, it's actually the lightest and sweetest description or words you've probably read all year, right? So this is like pure lightness and sweetness right here in the beer and in the words itself. Then Lightspeed has flavors of apricots and peaches with citrus fruits and light floral notes refractoring off of a delicate malt base. Then we have a beer, which is a light lager with zingy citrus. And as we go down, we'll see more light and sweet beers here. So we see a hazy IPA with tropical fruit aroma bursting with pineapple, candied fruits, and sherbet mallow notes. And at the very bottom, we'll see the Punk IPA. It's a golden classic, so it's a light beer. And it's been subverted to create an explosion of flavor with caramel and tropical fruit and an all-out ride of grapefruit with pineapple and lychee preceding a spiky bitter finish. So it's a light beer, it's a sweet beer, but it's the most bitter of the light and sweet beers. So if you look at this list, what you'll find is roughly, first of all, these are all light beers, but they've been ordered roughly in terms of sweetness from top to bottom. So Cynthia has said, you're looking for light and sweet. So I kind of understand that you're looking for just light beers, but you're really interested in the sweetness of the beers. And I'm going to rank them in terms of sweetness, which is very intuitive. Now let's increase the difficulty level. So I want a beer which is strong and heavy hitting, right? I mean, this is a more natural search, more natural language. And as Bruce likes to say, all the kids these days are using natural language with their Alexas and their Siris and their Google Homes and all this stuff, and their bots and their chat GPTs and all this stuff. So let's use real natural language. I want a beer which is strong and heavy hitting. What does that mean? Well, let's look at the first few results. The first result is the Double Punk, the UK's favorite craft beer that started it all. It gets ramped up to 8.2%. That's a strong beer for a relentlessly hoppy onslaught with a citrus forward pithy delivery. Expect bitterness and a heavy-handed hopping. Double your punk, double your fun, right? That's very strong and that's very heavy, punchy language, right? The next one is the OG Hazy Jane, which is East Coast, collides and cranks it up. So it's dry hopped for a full tilt fruit hit. Low on bitterness, high on haze, heavy on the hops, embrace the opaque. And let's look at the third one, 5 a.m. Stop the clocks for the return of the hop-led homage, right? This hits big time with a 7-strong dry hop regime. Berry and citrus collide with caramel and biscuits. Spice marmalade jostles with chocolate. So they're talking about ingredients which are like in a punching match with each other. So I said strong and heavy hitting, and what we got was their strongest beers and language that's about punching, okay? So the other,
I just want to point out, as we're looking at this, in the retail space, you may be selling a product that has a lot of what the customer is searching for within descriptions and somewhere in the catalog. But really, when you're talking about lifestyle brands, a lot of the searches are words that don't even necessarily directly correlate to the product itself. In this case, we're talking about beer, but aside from mentioning hops and things like that, most of these descriptors are not actually, they're descriptors that could be applied to so many things. They're not unique to beer, which is a much tougher search task, especially when you get into specialty products or outdoor products where your search can be so wide. That Cynthia really helps bring you down to those results that are closest in a very human way.
Yep, absolutely. Van, you're 100% right. And you know what? This extends to a totally new level. So the other day, Sue says to me, she says, David, light and sweet, oatmeal, strong and heavy hitting. Okay, look, I don't know anything about beer. I'm a wine person. So let's say I'm new to beer and I just want Cynthia to introduce me to something nice. So I said, okay, Sue, let me try this. So I'm new to beer, please introduce me to something nice, right? So I have this query saved. This was a mind-blowing query, and this shows actually the power of our approach. So here's the sentence. I'm new to beer, please introduce me to something nice. And we're gonna click process, and we're gonna look at the first two results. The first result is the variety pack, which is the perfect box of beer if you wanna try some of the best craft beer that BrewDog has to offer. So we said, I'm new to beer, introduce me to something nice. And Cynthia says, here's a variety pack. The description is simple and easy to read. And it's exactly what you want. And it shares no common words, and no keywords in common, just like you said, Van. But even more than that, it's not even synonym related. This is actually answering the question directly. And we didn't teach Cynthia this sentence at all. This is an emergent phenomena of large language models and deep neural networks in the course of e-commerce search. The second result is the BrewDog Beer School, which says this 12-pack contains BrewDog favorites and guest beer curated by experts exclusively designed to drink alongside the online edition of our BrewDog Beer School as you're learning. Click here to find out more information and enroll in the beer school for your education. Now, notice about number 2, it's a little bit longer, it's a little bit more complex language, and it's a little harder to read. Cynthia has part of the algorithm, her algorithm, which basically favors simplicity. Cynthia has a kind of an Occam's razor built in. So what you can see here is you asked to be introduced to something nice because you're new to beer, and you got a variety pack and an invitation to the beer university in order, which is pretty remarkable. So what we think about this is we're very proud of this result because we believe that Cynthia actually represents the world's first search engine that has a rudimentary form of common sense reasoning. Okay, So that's the beer example. Anyone want to say anything about this, or we're going to go to hotels and we're going to wrap up with a quick wrap and then ship this video. Okay, let's go look at some hotels. So let's say we want to travel and we want to get going. I would love to travel. I'm an engineer. I've been working hard for months and months. I need a vacation. Okay, so I want to look around the world and I want to find a place that has my ideal vacation, but I'm open to a lot of ideas. I don't know where I might want to go. Do I want to go to London? Do I want to go to Dubai? Do I want to go to, I don't know, Indonesia? Where do I want to go in the big wide world, right?
You want to
Maybe-
get out of your cubicle in the basement, that's for sure.
I'd like to get out of my cubicle, that's for sure. It's like, actually, I'm working at home in a nice apartment, but sure, exactly. Same difference, right?
Yep.
Now, one thing is, this is the telegraph.co.uk, and they have about 12,000 expert reviews of hotels, but they don't have the ability to search them. This search box is actually for the whole website. And if you want to find a hotel, you actually have to browse by going through continent by continent. So if you want to go to North America, like the Peninsula Chicago, the Trump International Hotel in Chicago, the White Stallion Ranch, you actually have to browse by geography. So it's very hard to find what you're looking for if you don't have a geography in mind. What if you have a quality in mind of the hotel that you want to go to, but you're not necessarily bent on one specific location? I want a hotel that maybe is good for a beach and drinking a cocktail, but there's so many great beaches around the world, but I want to see all of those. I want to slice and dice the results differently. Okay, so this is where Cynthia really comes into play here. And let's pull up this model catalog and let's look at our travel model. So this is the Telegraph Hotels model, over 10,000 tried, tested, and recommended hotels to choose from the Telegraph. So we're going to go into our model, and yes, just like before, we downloaded all the hotels and we pre-processed them into our Cynthia neural network search engine model. And now we're going to look at some results. So first, let's take it simple. Let's keep it simple. We'll look for great for families. Okay, great for families. So the first one in Croatia, an all-inclusive resort by the sea offering great value for families and children with 3 kids clubs, a nursery, an all-day mini buffet for children. They need a mini buffet, and a special cinema for, where they're playing like Pixar movies and kids movies and things, right? Various dining options, an infinity pool with pebble beaches and water sports facility and a spa. That is killer for the whole family, especially the kids. Look at that. The bang for the buck is right at the top. The next one in Ireland, this is in the city center right next to the Grand Opera House. It's basically especially good for families, and you can take city tours so you can show your kids the city. So it's great for families in Ireland. Then in Hamilton, Bermuda, you get the Grotto Bay Beach Resort and Spa, which has a private beach, ideal for families. And you have water sports and activities for adults and children. So, we said great for families, and you got 3 amazing results for families. Okay, and all these results here are pretty good for families, but you can see the bang for the buck right at the top. The next one, Modern Downtown Boutique, right? So Modern Downtown Boutique, let's see what it has to say. So, okay, well, that's easy. This is a modern boutique hotel in downtown Napa, followed by the Standard in Los Angeles, which is a minimalist modern boutique. Then a modern boutique in New York. And let's see, as we go down here closer, so there's a nothing orthodox about this Orthodox church, which has been changed into a stylish modern boutique with an excellent brasserie and a lively lounge bar. And you get so many modern boutiques here. Okay, so these are pretty easy. There's some keywords, there's some associated concepts, but now let's crank up the intensity level to see how advanced Cynthia can get. So we're going to search for beach and cocktails. So beach and cocktails. Well, we get some great beaches and cocktails, right? So, and you can look across the whole world for great beaches with cocktails. So the first place we go to is Seminyak Bali, right? To the Katamana. The beautiful design and carefully curated services and cocktails can convince you to spend your whole holiday at this hotel. However, with one of Bali's most loved beach clubs right next door and the chic boutiques of Seminyak nearby, you'll be tempted to step outside. So it's inviting you for cocktails and to get out on the beach. The second one, Playa del Carmen. It's a fully inclusive beachside resort with a balmy ocean breeze, heady cocktails, and 6 restaurants. Then in Venice Beach, Los Angeles, you get a trendy boutique with bright contemporary rooms, plush beds, and a rooftop lounge with ocean views, cocktails, and DJs after dark, right? So it says, come up to the rooftop lounge, have some cocktails, look at the ocean, and then since it's in Venice Beach, you can just walk right down to the ocean. And there's so many of these. We see Cambodia, we see Tulum, Mexico, we see Madagascar in an island beach with rustic bungalows in the tropical jungle. Okay, but let's add more to this. Beach and cocktails, and let's say with gourmet food. Okay, so now the query got longer and there's a bunch of criteria here. So what is Cynthia going to do? How is Cynthia going to balance these needs? So let's take a look. The first one, which is in Colombo, Sri Lanka, the Movenpick Hotel. It's a smart 5-star city hotel with gourmet food, a handy location near shops, site and embassies, and a 24th floor rooftop pool and bar. And it's right on the beach. You can see the ocean right there. So we got a pool, a beach, a bar, and it's gourmet and gourmet food. We got everything we were looking for. Cynthia was able to factor in everything we wanted and put everything we wanted right at the very top. So that's the Movenpick Hotel in Sri Lanka. Now, the second one, Port Louis in Mauritius, the Labradunay Waterfront Hotel, I think that's maybe how you would pronounce that, which is an imposing waterfront hotel, the capital's finest, attracting politicians and dignitaries as well as gourmands. It's a business hotel, makes a perfect city break with gourmet restaurants, a lively bar, and access to the beach clubs. And then in Cyprus, the Alexander the Great Beach Hotel. You can see the sunset behind Paphos' famous medieval castle in a dining terrace, minutes from the harbor, with a spa and gourmet dining, a beach holiday, and a touch of luxury. So we asked for, basically 5 different things: beach, cocktails, and gourmet food. And Cynthia was able to basically get all 5 of those right at the very top. Now, here's
in different hemispheres too. Our original search was search by country, and now we've got results from across the globe for options. Yeah.
Right, because Cynthia allows you to search by qualities, by essences, by subjective characteristics, and factor those in. You're no longer confined to taxonomies or menu dropdowns. You can really find what you're looking for effortlessly. And that's a big quality and a value for us, is effortlessness. We want to make it serendipitous, effortless, enjoyable for you to find what you're looking for and never struggle to find what you're looking for again. It should just be beautiful and easy, right? Now, there's one final query here that I want to bring your attention to, and this is the one where we shoot off some fireworks here. So, I'm an engineer, right? So as I mentioned, I'm stressed out engineer. I need a vacation. I want to get out of the cubicle, but I want a hotel that's good, fun for engineers. Like, I don't want to just go to any hotel. Like, honestly, as an engineer, I wouldn't have a fun time I don't know, I don't know. I just want a place that's fun for engineers. So take me on a vacation, which is a cool for an engineer. You know what I mean?
You want some math with your vacation.
Yeah, I want some math with my vacation. I'm a little nerdy, a little geeky. I want to see some toys, I want to play with some things, I want to see some artwork, maybe some sculptures. I don't know, something that's cool for an engineering kind of person. So
you want to feel inventive and creative.
That's right. I want a hotel which is fun for engineers. Exactly. So let's process this and let's look at the first result. The first 2. The first result in Chicago, Illinois is the Hotel EMC2, aka E = MC squared. This is a 21-floor hotel which stands tall at the intersection of art and science, actually Ontario and North St. Clair, and illustrates just how fun hotel design can be. Artist sketches, funky contraptions, and more than a hint of whimsy beckons guests to explore the rooms and beyond. So I asked for a hotel which is fun for engineers, and Cynthia says, well, here's some art, some science, design, sketches, contraptions, and whimsy. That sounds perfect for an engineer, right? Now, the second result in Mumbai, India, I think it's a great result, but it's for a little bit different engineer. It's more for corporate kind of engineer, right? This is a modern hotel flanked by financial companies, craft breweries, and restaurants in the heart of the business district. I definitely know some engineers that this would be their preference, but for me, just the pure engineering preference is the Hotel EMC2. And actually, let's go and actually look at what it looks like. So if we go to Google and we search for the Hotel EMC2 and we look at this photo, you can literally see here on Google Photos that this is the Hotel E = MC squared. And it actually in neon lights says Albert, as in Einstein. Beautiful. And that's Cynthia. Cynthia is the Albert Einstein of AI. Cynthia out of the box comes with a 5,000 IQ and the ability to understand subjective qualities to help you find anything you want right out of the box. Now, where are we going from here? So we're building a new website right now. So this is our new website with our new purple theme, and we've got a lot of sections and to highlight some of our app features and show some of our e-commerce connectors. We've also got a really exciting dashboard in the works. So this is kind of the nerve center. I like how Bruce described this the other day as the nerve center. Definitely. This is where you can go and really connect with your Cynthia installation and see how all of your models are doing across all the distribution channels. So if you have models in Shopify, Magento, Squarespace, or even some custom integration in your own websites, so a custom build with your engineers, you can view all of your models here like some kind of intuitive panopticon. And there's a playground where you can play with your models and you can like evaluate them and search with them here. This is our new demo harness. We have
David,
the
what's
ability.
really great about this is for small and mid-sized businesses. In most cases, they would never be able to have pages like this that they could go to find out the data, do their own, analytics. They would have to hire someone to do all this for them.
You're absolutely right. And if you do have some technical staff that has the ability to upload a data set like a CSV, they can just upload a CSV here. It's easy for an intern. There's nothing technical here.
Yeah.
You can train your own models too. Like for example, like you can have, and it's all templatized. So it's easy for everyone. So if you want to have a natural language search model with a certain data set, you can actually configure the model to have like certain attention. Like if you want to emphasize the name of a hotel or the description of the hotel, you can tell Cynthia how much Cynthia should study each of them. So you have some easy custom configurability, but it's very cute, right? These are like Lego building blocks. You can just use some sliders and it's very friendly. There's no coding at all required. And it's all based on like kind of these like childlike tinker toys.
If
We have
David, if
Yeah.
I had somebody on my team that, let's say, has maybe 2 years experience in e-commerce, this is like their second job doing e-commerce stuff, how long do you think it would take them to get up to speed on the Cynthia platform?
That's a great question. I think with the right demo videos and our knowledge base, I think it would take maybe 3 to 4 hours, perhaps. Like that would be my best guess.
So a day. Day one, I can set them down in front of Cynthia, the dashboard, and by the end of the day, they have
Oh, yeah.
reasonable competency. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
great.
That's 100% for sure.
And this dashboard, David, is available to all customers with their Cynthia level subscription.
It is. This dashboard is available to everybody. So no matter what subscription level you have, this dashboard is your control center, your nerve center for Cynthia. Now we have state-of-the-art insights and analytics. So for example, like let's say you have a machine learning model and you want to see the traffic that you're sending to it, or you want to see the top queries that are going into it. You can do that here. And these are real queries that are coming from a radio station. So people are searching for smooth jazz, spa music, classical music, 80s music, country music, Frank Sinatra, Taylor Swift. This is kind of like demo data, but from a real customer actually. You have preferences. So we have multiple languages, like out of the box right now, we have English and French, and we're going to add, maybe I think 20 languages for go-to-market and then up to 108 in our first year. So here's French, and you can see that our site is instantly localized to French and back to English. Of course, we have a light mode. We have a horizontal menu bar. We have a vertical menu bar, right? And also you can change the colors of your sidebar. You can just basically style this to taste. But, guys, you've all seen light mode and dark mode, right? Light mode and dark mode, we all know about light mode and dark mode, but did you know that there's a third mode, right? There is a third mode and we are pioneering the third mode, right? So, right, here's dark mode. I like dark mode because I look at screens all day, so I want something that's friendly for my eyes, but here's a third mode. It's called transparent mode. And what transparent mode does is it turns everything into like this kind of transparent glass. So all the panels in the page are like glass on glass. This is super innovative and you can change the colors. Like you can make it green glass or red glass. So, to make this like super crazy cool, here's French, red, transparent glass, Cynthia nerve center dashboard, universal AI panopticon. That's pretty exotic.
We can see the red, David. You turned on the red and yeah, and you turned red.
Oh yeah.
What I like about it, it feels very personal.
Yep.
It feels very customized when you can do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're in the process of building activity feeds. So it's kind of like a Facebook feed of activities. So when people upload data sets or upload models or invite new users, you'll see that here. We have an administration panel. So for people at the admin level or up, you'll be able to invite a new user, and we have role-based administration. So you have super users who can create new billing accounts. You have admins who cannot create a billing account, but what they can do is they can invite friends. You have creators who cannot invite anybody to the platform. They can't administer users, but they can create data sets. They can create machine learning models. And you have readers whose only job it is to review analytics and kind of review output. Okay. And then finally, we have our knowledge base. We're really excited about this. So for example, like this is our help center and it's all powered by Cynthia. And if you search for like help with the playground or the data sets, or let's look at the data sets. So you search for help with the data sets, you'll see a very Google-like kind of result set here, which has some links. These are placeholders for now, but you'll have a kind of a knowledge graph card, and you'll have individual results, just like a common search engine. And that's our dashboard. That's a Cynthia dashboard. Okay.
That's awesome.
Thank you. And by the way, one final note here, there's under your name here, under Jordan Doe, right? So here's Jordan Doe. There's John Doe, there's Jane Doe, but this is Jordan Doe, right? So this is the inclusive Doe, right? Not many people know about this, but this is the third Doe, right? And if you look under accounts, you'll see that there are multiple accounts here. And so if you're a web developer that has multiple clients and you're onboarding all of your clients to Cynthia, you'll be able to toggle between your clients here. All right,
Awesome.
now wrapping up. This is our press release. So in Seeking Alpha, Cynthia IO launches on-demand AI platform. So please go do check out our press release, which is also uploaded in our Microsoft sponsorship application material. And finally, one thing about how we're a carbon negative company is that part of our revenue does go towards basically planting trees. So here we have over 1,000 trees planted through ecology.com. And for example, here's 25 trees planted in Moringa trees, Moringa oleifera, yeah, planted in the Mau region of Kenya. So that's a bit how we are a carbon negative company, is that not only are we carbon neutral using Microsoft Azure, but we are also planting trees. And one day my personal dream is to see the Cynthia logo in the shape of a forest from the International Space Station with the visible eyes. All right, so wrapping everything up, I'm David Williams. I'm the technical founder and CTO of Cynthia.io. Bruce is our co-founder and CEO and leading the charge in business and bringing Cynthia to the world. Sue McCabe is our chief marketing officer, and she's also the president of a company called Evergreen Licensing, which has a lot of interesting licensing contracts in the consumer product goods space. So we're plugging Cynthia in possibly through there. And also Van is he is our account manager, program manager, product manager, genius extraordinaire, inventor, designer, and close friend and partner at Overdose Digital, who is helping to bring Cynthia to the space of e-commerce. And this has been the demo of Cynthia.io. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.